In the silence before dawn, when the galaxy still dreams, a whisper moves through the Force, soft, distant, forbidden. Have you ever wondered what truths were buried before time began to count? Can a story be erased if its echo still trembles through starlight? Deep within the Jedi archives, a faint pulse of forgotten memory awakens. Dust dances in the golden shafts of early light, and somewhere between two sealed holocrons, a secret breathes. Lyra Kanan's hands tremble as she brushes the edge of a cracked data crystal. Jarek Daros, cloaked in shadow, watches from the corridor beyond, his heart weighed by memories of exile. Far above, the city's towers glow like sleeping giants, while the stars fade, keeping their secrets just a little longer. Lyra leans closer to the fractured crystal. The code whispers, half words, half heartbeat. She deciphers symbols that do not belong to the known Republic era. Alorn's quiet voice calls from across the hall, warning her not to awaken what was sealed. But curiosity is stronger than fear. The archive hums with ancient energy, and for a moment, Lyra feels the Force ripple with sadness, as though it remembers being forgotten. In the underbay below, Rin Valen adjusts her ship's navigation core. A strange signal flickers through her comms, the same frequency Lyra just unlocked. Rin frowns. Smugglers rarely meddle with Jedi tech, but curiosity pulls her toward the unknown. Outside her viewport, a single speck of light moves unnaturally through the Coruscant dawn, like a ghost star searching for a home. Jarek steps into the archive chamber. His boots echo on marble floors as Lyra turns. Recognition flickers. She knows his face from records erased long ago. He warns her that the crystal is not knowledge but memory, and memory is dangerous when it belongs to the dark. Yet, when the crystal hums again, both feel the Force tremble, as though something beneath the surface of time is stirring awake. High above the city, night fully lifts. The Force ripples outward, brushing across unseen worlds. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, a broken temple stirs. The erased stories are beginning to breathe again, waiting for those brave enough, or foolish enough, to listen. The crystal's whisper becomes a call. Symbols shift into coordinates that lead far beyond the Republic's mapped regions, a world erased from every archive. Lyra's pulse quickens as Jarek warns her that following it means crossing into forgotten territory, into stories deliberately buried. Yet beneath his voice there is a trace of longing, the kind only those who have lost faith still carry. Alorn watches from afar, silent, his reflection trembling across the holomap like ripples in deep water. The Force hums low, a lullaby for ghosts who wait to be remembered. In the hangar below, Rin prepares her ship, an aging but loyal vessel named the Whisper. The engines sigh awake, exhaling silver steam. She mutters about foolhardy, Jedi, and cursed relics, yet something in her chest thrums in rhythm with the strange signal she intercepted. A soft blue flicker glows on her console, the same coordinates, now transmitted to her nav system without consent. The galaxy, it seems, has chosen her too. The stars elongate into rivers of light as their ships jump into hyperspace. Within the streaking glow, Lyra feels time blur, days folding into seconds. Jarek meditates in silence, shadows of his past flickering behind closed eyes. Once, he believed he could cleanse darkness by fighting it. Now he wonders if understanding it might be the only path left. Outside, the stars hum like ancient voices, and for a heartbeat, Lyra thinks she hears them calling her name. They exit hyperspace before a crimson nebula. The erased planet floats beyond, veiled in shadow and cloud. Its orbit is quiet, untouched for millennia. No signal, no beacon. Only silence. The surface glows faintly as if remembering light. Rin's ship drifts nearby, her voice crackling through comms with a tremor of awe. Lyra closes her eyes, whispering that the world feels alive. Jarek's fingers tighten on the console. Some things, he says softly, were meant to sleep. They descend through clouds the color of rust and rose. Storms murmur beneath them, lightning tracing forgotten sigils in the mist. When they finally break through, they see ruins. A vast temple half buried beneath vines of silver stone. Lyra breathes the planet's name from the crystal's code. Korath. The syllables tremble like a memory long denied. As their ship settles on the temple's edge, the air feels thick with waiting. The past, at last, is ready to speak. Mist curls through the temple's corridors like memory returning from sleep. Each step they take stirs echoes of voices long gone. Whispers that twist between syllables of forgotten tongues. Lyra moves ahead, guided by intuition more than sight. Jarek walks behind her, his lightsaber hilt silent but ready. Rin trails last, scanning every surface with her datapad, though its sensors falter against the temple's strange pulse. The deeper they go, the louder the force hums, until even breathing feels sacred, as though the air itself remembers their names. They reach a vast chamber. The ceiling disappears into darkness, carved pillars bearing faces half devoured by time. At the center rests a stone dais, and above it, suspended in still air, a black crystal thrums with slow heartbeat light. Lyra approaches, drawn by a gravity she cannot name. Jarek whispers for her to stop, but curiosity outweighs command. The air ripples, and the ancient force stirs like wind in deep water. For a moment, the room seems to breathe. When Lyra's fingertips graze the crystal, visions flood her mind. Twin suns burning over an ancient war, Jedi and Sith standing side by side before betrayal tore them apart. She sees the moment when knowledge was buried, when truth was rewritten for peace. Her body trembles, breath quick and shallow. The crystal shows her Shadow Lord Korth, his gaze heavy with sorrow, not malice. The past was not what the Order had told. The Force sighs, aching to be whole again. Jarek rushes forward, breaking the connection. Lyra collapses into his arms, eyes wide and shining with what she has seen. Rin steadies her, murmuring softly. The crystal dims, its heartbeat slowing until it becomes only stone again. They were never enemies, Lyra whispers. They were one. Jarek feels the truth settle like dust in his chest, heavy, inevitable. For the first time, he understands why the archives were purged. Some truths could unravel the balance built upon lies. They leave the dais in silence, following the gentle sound of wind through hollow stone. Outside, the storms have softened into drifting silver rain. Lyra looks toward the sky, where the twin moons of Korath glow, pale and kind. The galaxy feels both larger and smaller now. Infinite, yet intimately connected. She wonders how many other stories sleep beneath starlight, waiting for those who dare to listen. The rain fades into a fine mist that drifts like smoke. Dawn touches the horizon of Korath, staining the ruins in gentle rose and gold. Lyra kneels before the temple's entrance, her fingers tracing the sigils carved in the stone. The markings pulse faintly beneath her touch, alive with quiet memory. Jarek stands behind her, sensing a shift in the force, calm yet deep, like a wound beginning to heal. Rin circles the ship, her gaze thoughtful. What began as curiosity is becoming reverence. The air hums, and somewhere deep within the temple, the sound of moving stone whispers of an opening yet unseen. The temple answers. Walls slide aside with the groan of forgotten centuries. A narrow stair descends into lightless depth. Lyra feels the pull again, not fear, but invitation. She looks to Jarek. He nods, understanding that some paths cannot be avoided. Rin sighs, checking her blaster, pretending calm. The air grows cooler as they descend, their footsteps echoing like soft drums. The force thickens, wrapping around them like a living thing. They reach a circular chamber. Floating above the floor are fragments of holocrons, thousands of them, each shattered, suspended in silent orbit. Faint light streams between them, forming constellations that move and shift like living memory. Lyra steps forward, tears in her eyes. "These are the erased histories," she whispers. Jarek closes his eyes and feels the resonance. Pain, hope, peace, all woven together. Rin records in silence, her cynicism replaced by awe. For the first time, none of them speak. They only listen. The holocrons shift, aligning to form an image. Two figures. One Jedi, one Sith. Standing, hand in hand beneath a single star. Their voices merge in unison, speaking of balance, unity, and the tragedy of separation. Lyra realizes this is the truth that was buried. That the Force was once whole, its light and shadow meant to coexist. A gentle warmth spreads through the room, lifting the weight of centuries. Jarek's eyes glisten. The ghost of Korth appears briefly, his expression tender, grateful. Then the image dissolves like mist. Silence follows, deep and full. The holocrons drift apart, their light fading into the calm of ancient sleep. Lyra kneels, pressing her palm to the stone floor. "We must protect this," she whispers. Jarek nods slowly. "Not hide it. Guard it with truth." Outside, sunlight spills into the stairway, wrapping the chamber in peace. Rin smiles faintly. Not her usual smirk, but the kind born from understanding. The three stand together, surrounded by light that feels like forgiveness. The chamber quiets, its echoes now only the soft hum of memory. Lyra rises slowly, her heart steady. "We should take what remains to the council," she says. Jarek's eyes narrow. He knows what that means. Censorship, destruction, another silence. Yet the force within the room feels balanced, urging honesty. Rin glances between them, sensing the weight of their choice. Outside, the storm has cleared. Sunlight drips through the cracks of the temple like honey through glass, promising peace that feels fragile, beautiful, and true. They step out into the open air. The planet's surface shimmers, alive with renewal. Mist rolls off the cliffs like breath from a waking giant. The sound of birds, real or imagined, drifts faintly through the valley. Lyra feels lighter, her mind clear. Jarek inhales deeply, his burden easing. Rin laughs softly, the first true sound of joy since they began. It is as though the Force itself smiles, stretching through sky and stone alike. By the ship, they prepare for departure. Rin powers up the whisper, its hum blending with the planet's quiet pulse. Jarek helps Lyra secure the recovered data fragments. She hesitates, her gaze drawn to the horizon. "Do you think they'll believe us?" she asks. Jarek shakes his head. "They don't need to. The truth will wait. It always does." The words settle between them like a promise. Rin looks back at them from the ramp, a smirk returning, softer this time. Ready to rewrite history? She teases. As the ship lifts from Korath's surface, the ruins below shimmer. Not with light, but with memory. The temple seems to exhale, releasing centuries of silence into the sky. Clouds part, and twin moons fade behind morning light. Lyra presses her hand to the viewport, feeling the world's gratitude like a pulse through glass. The forest feels different now, softer, whole. Somewhere deep within, the faint echo of Korth's voice whispers farewell. The stars open before them once more. Hyperspace stretches like silk, endless and calm. Lyra closes her eyes, letting the rhythm of the engines lull her. Jarek glances toward her, the faintest smile, the first in years. Rin hums softly, charting their return course, though her thoughts drift to the stories she'll never tell. The galaxy ahead feels gentler, as if something hidden has been forgiven. For a moment, there is no war, No secrecy, only peace floating between the stars. Hyperspace hums softly, its song, a bridge between worlds. Lyra sits by the viewport, her reflection blending with the streaking stars. Jarek meditates beside her, his calm finally genuine. The tension that once shadowed his face has melted into quiet acceptance. Rin rests in the pilot's seat, head tilted back, lost in thought. For the first time, there are no secrets between them, only understanding. Outside, the stars whisper like gentle rain, carrying the voices of a galaxy older than memory. The ship exits hyperspace above a quiet world. Not Coruscant, but a hidden moon where Master Aelorn waits. They land in a valley of pale grass under soft white light. Aelorn steps forward as the ramp lowers, his robes stirring in the breeze. Lyra bows deeply, but he gestures her up with a smile. "The Force has changed," he says gently. Jarek nods, knowing the old master can sense the truth they carry. Rin stands behind them, the weight of their discovery pressing softly yet firmly against destiny itself. Inside a small stone hall on the moon, they share everything: visions, relics, truths once erased. Aelorn listens without interruption, his eyes shimmering with both wonder and sorrow. "They feared unity," he whispers at last, "because unity makes control impossible." His words hang like incense, soft but unshakable. Lyra feels tears rise. Jarek lays a hand on her shoulder. Rin, standing near the doorway, looks toward the stars, sensing that they've done something far larger than they yet understand. As night deepens, they step outside the hall. The valley glows silver under twin moons. Aelorn tells them the council must hear the truth, but warns that not all will accept it. "Truth changes everything," he says softly, "and change brings fear." Lyra lifts her gaze to the sky. "Then let them fear," she whispers. Jarek smiles faintly at her courage. Rin folds her arms, whined, tugging at her hair. Her grin quiet but proud. Above them, constellations shimmer like ancient stories finally remembered. Later, as they rest by a small campfire, the hum of the Force surrounds them. Neither light nor dark, but something whole. Lyra closes her eyes and feels every living thing breathing together. Jarek's voice breaks the quiet, low and gentle. "Perhaps the Force was never meant to be divided." Rin smiles, throwing a pebble into the flames. "Then maybe it's time the galaxy learns to listen again." The fire crackles softly. Above, the stars shimmer like 1,000 patient hearts. Morning breaks quietly over the moon's valley. Dew glistens like scattered stars upon the grass. Lyra walks alone for a while, listening to the wind's calm murmur. Every sound feels alive. The rustle of leaves, the faint hum beneath her feet. She senses the Force not as two sides, but as a circle without beginning or end. Her journey, once driven by curiosity, now feels like returning home. The past no longer weighs upon her, it simply breathes beside her. Jarek finds her near a ridge overlooking the valley. "You've changed," he says softly. Lyra smiles. "Oh, have you?" The words carry no weight, only truth. He gazes into the light, eyes calm. Once a man torn by guilt and silence, he now carries balance in every breath. Together they stand without speaking, letting the world move around them. Slow, steady, whole. Rin sits by the ship, fixing a small panel just because she can. Her fingers move with unhurried ease. She hums a quiet tune. Something old, something hopeful. For a woman who lived among smugglers and shadows, the silence here feels like grace. She looks up as Lyra and Jarek return, raising an eyebrow. "So," she says with a smile, "do we tell the galaxy, or let it dream a little longer?" Lyra answers softly. Let it rest. The truth will wait. As midday warms the sky, Master Elrond joins them. He places a hand on Lyra's shoulder, his gaze distant yet kind. Knowledge once hidden finds its way back when the galaxy is ready, he murmurs. Lyra nods. Jarek closes his eyes, sensing a harmony that stretches far beyond this small moon. Rin looks upward, half smiling. For a moment, all of them stand beneath the open heavens, teachers, wanderers, seekers, bound not by duty, but by understanding. That night, stars bloom across the sky like new constellations. The campfire glows low, painting their faces in amber calm. No one speaks. There's nothing left to say. The galaxy feels vast yet tender, its forgotten stories finally at peace. Lyra leans back and watches the heavens breathe. Maybe the Force isn't something we learn, she whispers. Maybe it's something we remember. The wind stirs softly through the valley, carrying the warmth of her words into forever.